Hey guys, today we are going to be making pulled pork in the Instant Pot, but first I'm going to make a side of homemade coleslaw. Super easy. I just have a bag of the pre-shredded coleslaw mix, mayonnaise, apple cider vinegar, regular vinegar, and sugar. I'm just going to start by putting the coleslaw into the bowl, and then I'm going to begin adding my mayonnaise. I don't really measure it. I usually end up adding 3 heaping tablespoons. I like it a little bit more on the crunchy side. If you like it creamier, you can definitely add more mayo. So I mixed up the 2 heaping tablespoons. It did need 1 more, so I'm going to get that in there. And now we're going to start with the vinegar. That's one thing I always do measure. You don't want to put too much vinegar. That'll be too overpowering. I use 2 tablespoons of the apple cider vinegar, and then I also use 1 tablespoon of the regular white vinegar. After that's in there, we're just going to add 1 tablespoon of sugar. We're going to give it a good mix, and then I'm going to set it in the fridge until it's time for dinner. I usually make this, I try to make it 2-3 hours before we're going to eat at least. Sometimes I'll even make it the night before. So we're just going to mix this up and throw it in the fridge. It's now a few hours later, and I'm going to start preparing the pork. I'm going to start with this. It's a pork loin roast. I bought the big one at Costco and I cut it into 3 pieces. This is the last piece I had in my freezer. I took it out, I weighed it, and it's exactly 2.8 ounces, 2 pounds, 8 ounces. So it's a 2.5 pound roast, which is perfect. And I'm going to be using 2 different seasonings today. I'm going to start with this pork one that I always get at Costco. It's really good. I'm on my second one. I mean, it lasts forever. I think the first one I bought was probably 3 years ago. It's one of my favorite seasoning rubs for pork, for ribs. And then I'm also going to be using the Kinders. I don't know if you saw, I used this for the first time on a whole chicken. I did a video on that. And that is just the regular blend. It's garlic, salt, and pepper. So I'm going to start by adding the Kinders, and there's not a lot of fat on there, you can see, so I'm not going to trim it. If it was more of a fatty roast, I would trim it, but I think this is just the perfect amount. And then when you shred the pork up, it stays really nice when you have the extra fat on there, I think. Now that I have the Kinders on there, I'm just going to get the seasoning rub. We're going to get that all over there, both sides, and then it's going to be ready to go in the pot. So I'm just going to keep seasoning up here, and the next step will be throwing it in the Instant Pot. The meat's all seasoned, and I'm just going to be adding a whole bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's, a 1/4 cup of liquid smoke, and a full cup of water. That's a 1/2 cup. That was my mistake. I am adding a full cup. You do want a full cup of water in here. I'm not going to be putting the meat on a rack. I'm just putting it straight into the pot. And I know that I've shown my Instant Pot before, but in case you haven't seen it, I use the Duo Nova. It does not have a sealing button. Once you close it, it is in the sealing position. That little button is just what you press at the end to release the pressure. When I put the meat in, I'm not going to pour the liquid over the top because I want all of that seasoning to stay on there. So I put 1 full cup of water and a 1/4 cup of liquid smoke. That you could leave out. I just really like the smoky flavor, so I like using liquid smoke when I make pulled pork. And then I'm going to add the entire bottle of the Sweet Baby Ray's, and that I am going to pour on top of the meat, right on top of the seasoning. So we're going to get the whole bottle, the whole bottle on there, and I'm going to show you how it looks. I have my lid on, and I pushed pressure cook. It's on high pressure. I'm going to take this up to 1 hour. Once you see that little on, that's all you have to do. Just wait for it to come to pressure. It'll probably take 7 to 10 minutes to come to pressure, and then you can forget about it until the 60 minutes is up. The 60 minutes is up, and it's been doing a natural release for about 6 minutes now, so I'm just going to push that little button in the back and release the rest of the pressure. Once the pin drops, then I know it's safe to open, and we'll get this out and shred it up. I am taking the temperature just to be sure. It's reading about 164, which is fine because I am going to shred it up and put it back in the pot. I have it all shredded up in my bowl now. I'm going to throw it back into the pot, which is still hot, and I'm just going to put the cover on it. I'm not going to turn anything on and just wait until we're ready to eat. And now it's time to eat. I'm just serving it on plain old hamburger buns because that's what I had. And I have my coleslaw on the side, and I made some French fries, and that's it. Super easy. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed, please do. I'd love to have you around. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.